The EU needs to back Lithuania. Hello, welcome to Dangerous Policy, a channel aimed at intelligent people wanting to discuss important issues facing life and society. My name is Crispin, and today I want to give a bit of an update with the Belarus situation, which has intensified. The other day, the European Union announced a whole new range of sanctions against Belarus, calling for fresh elections that are under independent international observation. It mirrors something that French President Emmanuel Macron said in Vilnius when he visited there recently. He is making himself available for mediation when it comes to the EU and Belarus. I don't think that the Russians are going to be super keen to take up that offer, but there are, there's both carrot and stick there. Well, instead of responding positively to this, the Belarusians have responded with their own sanctions. They have promptly removed their ambassador from Vilnius. So there's no ambassador to Lithuania and no ambassador to Poland has also been recalled. And that is really, chilling the diplomatic back channels that were available between these Eastern European countries and Belarus. So things are just deteriorating badly. This happens in the space where there is increasing conflict over the construction of a new nuclear power plant on the Lithuanian border, and I will discuss that in detail in another video. And of course, the calling up of troops on the Belarusian side to try and make a sense that somehow there is an external threat, that for whatever reason Lithuania or Poland or whoever might invade Belarus to overthrow the government, which of course is totally absurd. So there is this, but there is also a grave danger for Lithuania here, because the Russian government has backed the Belarusians here. They have mirrored the Belarusian sanctions with some of their own sanctions, and that is potentially devastating for the Lithuanian economy, because 15% of Lithuanian exports are to Russia and something like 14% of imports. It is the largest trading partner of Lithuania is the Russian Federation. And so it's really incumbent upon the other EU countries to step up and make sure that Lithuania's economy continues to be supported, because here they are leading quite bravely. They're taking on the burdens of protecting the government in exile in Belarus. They're leading the charge to bring world attention to this issue in Belarus. They're seeking to have a peaceful transition that would bring in democratic reforms and allow Belarus to join the community of European nations that are free from dictatorship. So they're taking a lot of this struggle themselves. I think at a quite visceral and emotional level, shouldn't all be on their shoulders. They've got NATO, they've got the EU, and if Russia chooses to punish them, which they surely will, then there's a lot of things at Russia's disposal. They've got 150 million people in Russia, and there's like 3 million Lithuanians, which means that there's just a totally lopsided power balance. Russia can shut off a lot of things to Lithuania, and that would crash an already very fragile economy that has suffered, like all European countries, with the impact of COVID and the impact of the next massive wave of infection. So my hope is that Germany, France, even the UK, which has left the EU, they'll take steps to ensure that whatever shortfall exists as a result of sanctions or dropping off of export demand for Lithuanian products, that is picked up by Western Europe. It wouldn't be a huge burden to the Western European countries, but it would demonstrate in a real practical sense to Belarus, to Russia, that there was real, not just rhetorical solidarity across the European countries. And that would demonstrate a great deal, as would increased NATO cooperation and deployment from US forces in Lithuania and Poland. So again, hats off to the Lithuanians who are really taking charge here. They're showing tremendous leadership. They're dragging a lot of other countries kicking and screaming over the line. There was a recent interview, and I'll leave a link in the description, between the British BBC, the HARDtalk program, with the Lithuanian president, where the Lithuanian president has been asked, why are Western Europeans such deadbeats when it comes to, obviously I'm paraphrasing here, but not by much, when it comes to doing the right thing in the face of obvious corruption and obvious tyranny, not in some place that's very far away, but right on the EU border. And there was interesting things that the Lithuanian president had to say. So I'll leave a link to that. I don't know where this will go. I think the Russians see this as an existential threat. Again, I put a lot of hope in Svetlana Alexievich. I know she left Belarus temporarily for medical treatment in Germany. I'm not sure if she's back yet. Hopefully she is, but she didn't leave because of any political fear, or at least that's not what was reported. That a coalition of opposition figures can get together and have a discussion. I mean, for the Russians, this is deeply personal, just as it is for the Lithuanians, because unlike, say, Western Ukraine or other parts of Europe, the Caucasus, the Belarusians really do have a strong affection for Russia, a strong personal cultural affinity for Russia, very similar language, similar writing, all of that. And just because they want to live in a free and democratic society doesn't mean they immediately want to remove themselves from the Slavonic culture and join Northern Western Europe. And so there is actually a path forward to allow Lukashenko to go peacefully, go retire in Russia or whatever. He can have his, golden palace with little peacocks on his front lawn. No one cares, right? What we want is a free and democratic Belarus that has the enormity of economic opportunities open to it. And perhaps they could even be a bridge that helps bring Europe and Russia closer together, with Russia kind of waking up to the fact that it's in its own interest to improve relations with Eastern Europe. And I think, although there is a lot of pain and animosity that remains and lingers from the occupation era, Russia has done very little to mend those fences. And I take the comments that have been made on this channel about that, about how difficult it has been to get Russian leadership to act as proper interlocutors. And I do think that that's a fair criticism, that the Russians haven't done enough. All they do is seemingly continue to resist, as we see in Belarus, put sanctions on in response to prop up dictators. And that's not sustainable, as well as just being morally repugnant. So again, congratulations to the Lithuanians, and hopefully the EU can step up and support their economy through this mutual sanctions crisis, that some additional diplomatic back channels continue to operate with the Belarusian government despite the recalling of ambassadors from Vilnius and Poland. And if you found value in this discussion, please like and subscribe. We do have a regular segment on Lithuania. It's one of my favorite countries in the world, and I can't wait for the borders to get down so I can come back and visit you all. And if you have any comments yourself on this, please do leave them down below, because we address them directly in our Week in Review and in future videos. So thank you very much. See you next time.